Oh, I hope the internet's stronger now.
Oh, yeah. I literally forgot that was a thing this morning. Oh, well, do we own too many bags? I'm just seeing this and I'm like...
No, never.
That's not even all our bags. That's maybe 5% of our
I'd be
tote bags.
concerned if that was just our bags.
No, but like, of just tote bag, that's not 5% of our tote bag. Most of our tote bags are in a pile. Do you know where our tote bags are? If somebody broke into this flat and held a gun to your head and was like, show me where all the tote bags are, would you know where to take them to get the tote bags?
To the bedroom.
That is not where our tote bags are.
Oh. You do. Hi.
Oh my god, hey, everybody. Hello. I'm going to find the live on YouTube and then let the people of Instagram know that we are here.
Today we are only live on Insta. On Insta? YouTube.
YouTube, that's the one.
We are just
Don't say that word on a live.
No, we are just live on here. Hi. Oh my god, hey from Toronto.
Oh my god, hey in Toronto. Hello. What's the temperature in Toronto right now? Because we think it's cold, but we probably know nothing.
Yeah, where's everybody watching from? One of my favourite questions to ask. And also, our final bag of Percy Pigs.
Hold up the Percy Pigs. Lovely.
Oh. I opened the bag fully. Oh my gosh.
Oh, where did it go? Oh, we're back. We're here. We're alive.
Rose is also eating Percy Pigs.
What are the chances?
Snap.
Watching from Iowa, from Michigan.
Santa hat.
Hey, down under Ellen.
Hi, Northern Ireland.
Live on YouTube.
Olive Man. Michigan. Hi, everyone. Ooh, Z's here.
Hi, Z.
Just got home from Titanic.
Oh, did you enjoy? I hope you enjoyed.
Santa hat.
How many Percy? I thought you were going to hand me a Percy. I don't want that one.
It's only the first one.
How many have you had? How many Percys am I behind?
Literally one. You're already ahead of me.
Percys. I could style them as earrings. Oh,
thank you, Clegg. Hello, Ipswich. Netherlands, Georgia. Western-super-Mare near Bristol.
Mr. Lucas asks, what Western show should transfer to Broadway? I have an answer. What's yours?
You go first, I'm thinking.
My Neighbor Totoro. For artistic and commercial reasons. It's a genre that's, with that and Spirited Away, Ghibli films on stage, hugely creative, very much like highlighting the riches of a different culture than is usually explored on the British stage, and has been really financially successful for all involved. I think Broadway is looking for a little bit of that as well.
My answer would probably be, it's not currently on, but it was on last year. It would be Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York. I think how maybe a happy ending's been received so well in New York. Similarly, I feel like Two Strangers would be. And I think they'd be very charmed by the British character in it.
But I think off-Broadway.
Oh yeah, off-Broadway first. But first, I think it could do Broadway.
Valerie says, I've been hearing about this immersive Phantom of the Opera coming this year off-Broadway. Have you heard anything about it? Only as much as the rest of the internet has. And if you haven't heard anything about it, there is a building that...
The plans have been leaked for.
The plans have been leaked, the planning permission.
Well, it's not been leaked. We had to put out the planning permission.
It has emerged onto the internet, but obviously the show, the production, the official plans have not been publicly revealed. Look, Andrew has dropped in an interview. He was like, it's happening.
You've already been shaded for how slow you are answering.
Why me? Why is it just my responsibility?
You'll see why. I'm confident it was from Ellen.
I reject this. Hey, in the Netherlands. I'm just making sure we didn't miss anyone at the start. I was just
we're right. freezing right now.
Minus
10, but no snow.
This is in Toronto, I think.
Mm.
January and February is usually the worst for snow. Wow.
We've had snow in the UK actually in January.
We've had little bits of snow.
It's not stuck, but we've got that annoying thing where it's just like frozen ground.
Yeah. Hi in Ipswich.
Which means it's really slippy.
It's 9:10 a.m. down under, and you're out shopping, but we're much more exciting. Thank you so much. Caleb is seeing Back to the Future next week.
Very fun.
Is that in the West End? Is that US tour? I lost my voice from laughing from Titanic. That'll get you. I pulled a muscle that side of me. That's it. Did you get when I was trying to tell you halfway through the show that I pulled a muscle laughing? It was one of Stephen Greener's moments, and I was like, I have just pulled a muscle. I was like, I pulled my muscle. This one here. Actually, I pulled a muscle.
No, I didn't. For a second, I thought, oh yeah, that's the moment I thought you needed to pee. It wasn't.
When did you think I needed to pee?
No, I was trying to remember if that was what I thought.
I mean, I will say, controversial Titanic take, and I said this in my review, so if you watched it, you already know. There is no reason for it to not have an interval in the UK. There's no reason. I don't know where you'd put it. I don't know if dramaturgically, but it's not like...
I mean, it would be where the fake interval is.
Yeah, there or thereabouts.
That would be where it would be, because that's why I think it's there.
Yeah. Because we actually sell drinks in the theatres in the West End and ice creams. And
although I think Titanic with an interval, allowing people to drink more, that could get very rowdy.
I've got a business hat on. What can I say?
No, I agree. I'm just thinking about audience.
When is Hercules coming to the West End? June. June, June, June. Hercules in June. When? June. When? June.
Ooh, that's fun. By going to this one.
The Library of Performing Arts. Saw White Girl in Danger, and here we are. Oh, the archives. I think I'll appreciate, I think inevitably I'm going to appreciate Here We Are more now, because it for me, it came with the sting of like everything I wanted it to live up to, and it didn't. And now I know what it is, so it won't carry that disappointment. And I'll be seeing Jane Krakowski on stage when I see it next in London. Would like to see White Girl in Danger because we had tickets.
We did.
And our performance got cancelled.
We did.
We had nowhere else to fit it in, and then it closed. Sadly. Oh, Caleb, what if your friends is playing Biff in Back to the Future in the West End? Oh, very fun. Cool. I want Babies to be performed on Broadway, says Silas Frost, with all the Britishisms intact. I would love that. I don't know. It might be a bit of a adjustment, but it's interesting. Of all of the school and high school and college/university set musicals, most of them are American. Like, regardless of where the productions originate, they're almost all American. Carrie started here, but it's still American.
I think it's because we don't have like... Do you know what I think the change is? Heartstopper. That kind of shows where... Because TV series.
Well, the exception in America is...
It's like the Sex Education, but that's kind of vaguely...
That uses
Americanisms, yeah.
It's English, but it's clearly... It doesn't look like it, and they don't wear uniforms and all that stuff.
And school shows for us were all CBBC type, like Tracy Beaker and stuff, which is a very different vibe.
I was going to say Matilda is the exception.
Oh, but that's a lot younger. That's primary. That's like babies.
Do you know any Great Gatsby casting rumors? I'm so intrigued. I don't know. I think it's going to be all new people. I don't think we're going to see Broadway returns.
And they're going to need to have profile to sell that theatre.
If they're smart, they'll get Luke Newton from Bridgerton to do it. That is my...
That's the one you keep talking about.
It works. He can sing really well. He has a voice. He could sing that score, which is the hardest thing. Because if you're stunt casting Gatsby, who are you going to get? Who can sing like this Jeremy Jordan conceived score that was written around Jeremy's voice, I mean, and also sell tickets to the Coliseum, which is huge. The score is huge and the theatre is huge. And Luke Newton is my answer to both of those things. Mr. Bridgerton from last season.
There's a shady comment. It's fun.
I thought I'd pop in early before Mickey gets too behind on YouTube comments. Aren't we clever?
So this is why I usually go to everyone's live.
I'm doing very well currently. Do you reckon the Little Shop of Horrors off-Broadway will transfer West End at some point? They've been trying to. They've been trying to. There has been a desire to. I think it's about
It's the theatre
the right
size.
theatre. Yeah.
They need kind of a space that's similar to West Side, and unfortunately, I think the theatres that would suit them best are the theatres that currently are not going to be free for a while. Like, the size that they want is the size that they can't get. But then there's theatres that it would suit well, but don't. There is a theatre I can think of that I'm like, oh, it could do well there, but
Put it in the Charing Cross.
well, that's what I thought. But how they work and how they program, they wouldn't work with that show. Currently, it would be a very big change of how they program that theatre.
I would like to see it somewhere like the Charing Cross.
Yeah.
What will we get first? The Producers West End Transfer or Natasha Pierre? We've now seen both. And
we saw Producers last night.
We did. I don't know is the answer. But I would like to see either or both. For both, and I'd be intrigued to see both transfer and get a little fuller in their set specifically. Who will be the next Ava Peron in Lloyd's production? You mean other than the Ariana DeBose basically confirmed rumor that has been emerging? I mean, Ariana DeBose is doing Evita the same way that Andrew Rannells was doing Tammy Faye on Broadway, only he ended up not doing it. I think it's just that not everything has fallen into place yet. But I think she's considerably further along in that process than he was. Are you going to do the 24-hour musical again? If they do it, I will do it. Yes. I was going to let you do a question.
Why?
Because I was eating a pig.
Oh. You just turned to me. I was like, hi.
It just went very quiet because I was like, I'm just talking. I'll let you do it.
There wasn't really a pass-off sign that was going to happen. Do we think maybe Happy Ending will win or at least get nominated for a Tony? If not, what do you think could win? I think maybe Happy Ending running is a big factor in how it will do. I think the fact that it's already made it through the new year means I think it's got a very good chance now for a nomination because it's so beloved and it got a critics pick, and it outlasted. I mean, like, sorry for Swept Away, but it's outlasted Swept Away. So that kind of, if you're looking at it, that's a New York critics pick that's lasted longer. So it's got a good shout, and there's a cast recording coming, which helps. Everything helps with keeping it on people's minds when the new lot of shows are starting. Like Redwood's just fully started its "We're About to Open" campaign. Yeah. So
I think in the year of big musical revivals, the Tony will go to a small new musical.
I can see that.
But maybe Happy Ending is not the only one. I think it's going to be maybe Happy Ending versus Operation Mincemeat versus Dead Outlaw. And I think that will win the day over the big ones, which will be a new musical contention like Death Becomes Her and Boop and Smash. And I mean, I don't know where Redwood's
kind of like, I think Redwood's kind of a wild card. Because with Adina, it can either go one way or the other when you think of like If Then.
We don't live anywhere near where bushfires were happening. We live in the UK. And thoughts with everyone affected by that, it's a nightmare. I was talking about it today in another video I'm filming that's coming out tomorrow because I was talking about Weather Girl coming to the Soho Theatre, and it's very scary when the dystopian theatre starts to parallel real world events. Hi from Denmark. Hello in Denmark. I'm going to Stockholm next week for Sweeney Todd. It will somehow be warmer there than it currently is here in London. Oh, Sweeney Todd in Stockholm. That's fun. Is it English language? I assume it's not English language. If you ever take a trip to Chicago, would love to host you both. We will let you know. I would love to go to Chicago. Shucked is there right now. And we are not.
take care of the West End Flea Market.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, okay. Well, enjoy Back to the Future in the West End. There you go. Titanic should have an actual interval. I wanted another glass of rosé by that point. Yeah, off Broadway, I wouldn't want it to have one because it's nice to be able to go and do their 5 p.m. and then make an evening curtain after that. Hello, Dakota. I'm doing well. We are both doing well. We've just watched The Traitors. Don't worry, no spoilers. No spoilers. And this is the English Traitors.
We can't find a way to watch the US Traitors over here. We can watch Series 1 and Series 2, but Series 3 can't find it anywhere.
Have we set a date for our wedding yet?
No. It'll happen at some point.
I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a rush. On the basis, no, because there's no good sounding way to get out of that sentence.
No.
No, the thing I said to you the other day, I like saying fiance, and I like, and then that word would just like go away forever. Fine. Do you expect Stereophonic to be a long run or a limited run? As with most plays, I think it's going to be a limited run, but with the possibility to, I think when it goes on sale, it's going to be a limited run. And maybe if it goes over very well, I just don't know if we have the audience to sustain a 3-hour. Even if it does great.
It's also the theatre it's going in.
Yeah.
So the Duke of York's is never known to do a long run. They're known for prestige plays, and that's always ATG's thing in that.
The next tenant after them is probably already booked.
This happens. If it was in the Harold Pinter, that's more flexible.
We're both eating sweets.
Greetings from Sydney. Is there any word rumours about whether Here We Are will be screened as part of NT Live? So, I believe it is, because I also was reading something about supposedly there was a filming date and it's been moved to a different date. So, I believe it.
I'm tearing it in half.
I believe it's been. I believe it's going to be filmed. It will be filmed because they didn't film it in New York, and
so much of Sondheim's work in its premiere productions has been filmed, like more so than any other theatre maker or composer.
I think that's how they sorted like this cast and people flying over, and the legacy of it. It kind of all feels very. It feels like it will definitely be filmed.
Very excited to see Jane Krakowski. And the rest of the cast. It's a stunning cast. I'm excited about Chamisa doing it. I'm excited about Richard Fleischman doing it. Any plan for trips to Australia or Asia this year? Would love to. Would love to. I think it might be something that creeps up on us and surprises us.
Yeah. I think it's kind of one of those where we don't want to get ours or any people's like hopes up, or
and it would have to be for the right thing. I don't want to go somewhere as far as Australia for the sake of like I've always wanted to go see theatre in Australia, which I do. I really want to go, but I wouldn't want to do it and then 6 months later they're like, and now this musical is happening, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I not go then? So I want to wait until I know and I feel like it's the right time.
It's also tricky because we're covering so many different shows. That like it's really difficult to decide on times where you can go, even with the West End and Broadway, and going, what would we miss if we're not there? And we've had this with shows that we love, where that show's opened in the UK, but the timings to actually get to certain things in New York meant we had to come late. Benjamin Button, if that opened, and then we watched it after it had opened.
Benjamin Button, Two Strangers, Winnie the Pooh.
Shows that I like.
All shows we knew ahead of time we were probably going to love. We were very excited for, and we wanted to really celebrate and talk about loudly.
But we just knew that the timings to see the Broadway shows, make sure we got to them.
Have either of us seen the new Oliver revival yet? Asks the Maestro Duke.
Maybe we're watching it next week.
Maybe in a few days' time. We didn't see it at Chichester. Haven't seen it yet, but maybe very soon. Hello, briefly. Hello, Kate. Possibly already gone by the time that I'm seeing your message.
Oh, you're so behind, lol. Well, when you see this, hi.
Enjoy your show this evening.
And you said you were not behind.
Why is it only my responsibility?
Because you've got the mouse.
That's true.
And you tell me off when I try and do that. That's
you
why
can answer a question.
That's why with TikTok, when we do the opposite.
Now that Epic the Musical has released all of its songs for the concept album, do you think you will do a reaction video? I'm so curious about your thoughts on the musical.
That's one that Adia's been talking about as well.
A lot of people have been talking about it. I can do, if that's something that people want to see.
I always think you should do the same with Ride the Cyclone.
Yes. I don't know. I'm always, and I'm so behind on reaction videos. So speaking about me being behind on things, I'm so behind on reaction videos, and I always want it to be about the stuff that is really, not to dismiss things that exist as concept albums online. And I did one for Warriors.
I mean, Ride the Cyclone is not a concept.
No, I know, but it's not. As far as the internet concerned, it's a huge, big, important musical. And as far as the industry right now is concerned, it's not.
Yeah.
That's what it means. It's not currently happening. In any given weekend, I'm like, right, if I've got time to film a reaction video this weekend, do I do the cast recording for the thing that just came out that's still running? Or do I do one for Ride the Cyclone? You know what I mean? And there are other people who do that content. Barbara, I think, has just done an Epic the Musical one. Barbara 2.0 here on YouTube, who does a lot of videos around reacting to and getting to know new musicals by listening to them for the first time. But I haven't ruled it out. Have you been to the Lyceum in Sheffield? And if so, what do you think of the theatre?
That's the one we haven't been to.
No, we've been outside.
We've been to the Crucible like tons of times.
Yeah, never been to the Lyceum. Because that would be the easiest two-show day ever.
Yeah.
42 Balloons is coming to Chicago Shakespeare Theatre. Is it good?
Yes,
it's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good. If I had to recommend like any US regional musical for the next year, 42 Balloons is the one. 42 Balloons is so good. I would fly to Chicago to go and see it in Chicago. I don't know if I will because there's a lot of other things to focus on. And like realistically going like that would be an undertaking, but I haven't ruled it out. I haven't told you this, but I haven't ruled it out.
You never rule anything.
I know, I try not to. Oh, you're right, I am behind.
Oh my gosh.
No, we're not that bad. We've been worse. We've been way worse. Do you have thoughts about Gypsy reviews commenting on race when the book hasn't changed at all? I'm going to need you to be more specific. Because it's obviously in the way that it's been cast, it's like demonstrably a feature of the production. And they had a perspective on race as an element of the characterizations when they put out the casting breakdowns. But if the book does, I get what you mean, because the book hasn't been changed. And
I think it becomes a thing of sometimes what have they said in supported materials about the decisions. If they don't mention that, like, this is what this production's. It's like when we were talking about A Christmas Carol over Christmas, and the fact that people commenting on the writing because of a female Scrooge, but actually the musical was written for a male Scrooge.
Yeah,
it was just that production, but nothing had been changed.
But the script hadn't really been changed. No. Yeah. Interesting. I see both sides, because I think I did get annoyed at the amount of commentary on like Nicole aesthetically in the Sunset reviews, how like her talent and I don't know why I'm holding a tripod, her talent and her presence and her characterization were all secondary to the way that she looked as the character. So yeah, I think hopefully we get to see it at some point this year, and we'll wait until then, and then I'll probably have more of a perspective on that. Hi Mickey, hi Aaron, happy 2025 to you both from Runcorn, England. Happy 2025 to you.
That name whenever I'm on a train.
Runcorn?
Yeah.
Where is it?
At a train station.
Where is it? What trains are you on when you normally hear
It's in
it?
the north.
It's in the north. Happy 2025 to you in Runcorn, England, north.
I'm fairly certain it is.
Why does Cameron Mackintosh not produce all new musicals anymore?
I think he's had, like, if you look at his track history, new musicals that he's done have really struggled. That's just being really honest.
Oh, with the last, like, Betty Blue Eyes was one of the last times.
multiples of the times when he's done a new musical.
Which is back in 2012?
Yes. Yeah. Like, when he's done new musicals, he's backed musicals coming over, where it's like Hamilton. He's a producer of that. And he announced Shucked coming over.
My answer was going to be, why is my grandma not still putting in a shift at the Max Factor factory?
I think there's also this thing that, like, other producers also have their proteges, their apprentices. They have other producers that work with them.
Yeah.
Cameron Mackintosh will have producers that work under him, but he's very kind of so creatively invested in stuff. Like, you can see with Oliver, like, and if you've watched any kind of video of him talking about the industry, he's so on it.
Mm-hmm.
That I also just don't. That I think that is part of this, and it's what he's very passionate about.
He's 78.
Yeah,
and he's 78, and you know when.
Yeah, and he's very passionate about having, like, his shows have the long runners and the not to take risk, really.
Yeah, and you know when people get older and start to really care about, like, getting nice photos and having photos of their grandchildren, like all of that. That's metaphorically what Cameron Mackintosh is doing now with this Oliver revival, and with, like, redeveloping the theatres and just, like, really taking care of what he has, and, like, caring about Les Mis, and
that's why Old Friends happened. It's a lot of things have sentimental value, I think, more.
Yeah, and if he were to produce entirely new musicals in a very active role, they may not speak to a contemporary audience because a lot has changed.
Also, it probably wouldn't be him that would be lead producing it. It would be somebody that would be working at Cameron Mackintosh producing it.
Been counting down the days till Daniel Fisher's Electra. So hyped for Brie, to be honest. Sounds like me on Christmas. Also hyped for Brie. I'm joking. That was a joke about cheese. I'm hyped.
When do you have Brie?
I don't. It just presented itself. A few years ago.
You're like, that's so like me. And I was like, that is absolutely not like you. You do not have Brie.
No, ask my sister this. A few years ago, my mother got these, like, battered Brie, like, nuggets, and it was called Party Brie. And we were like, for a few, like, occasions in a row, we were always like, is there going to be Party Brie? Break out the Party Brie. So there you go. I'm excited for Brie Larson and Stockard Channing and Patrick Vale. Who thought those three names would be in a show together? Wild. And I'm hoping it breaks the curse of the Duke of York's and celebrity-led plays. Because what's Titanic? Is it based on Titanic? In a sense. Titanic is a campy parody of the 1997 film Titanic by James Cameron, using the songbook of Celine Dion, using her songs to accompany the premise that she, in fact, was a passenger on the Titanic and is retelling the story from her warped, kooky perspective. It is a comedy. Wild. It is silly. It's wild. It's a great time.
Oh, Ellie's here, so get ready for the comment.
Have booked a family trip to see Lion Witch in the Wardrobe in March. Was wondering if you guys have seen the show and would you recommend? Seen it once.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. It's a lot. There's a lot.
It's good for a family trip.
It's a great
family show.
And it's one of those shows that has a lot brilliant happening on stage visually.
Yeah, and there's a lot of whimsy to it.
It sort of falls between, like, are we a play? Are we a musical?
Yeah.
And there's elements of scale that didn't quite all the way come across. I think I reviewed it. Did I not review it? Have I not reviewed it?
I thought you did, but we were not there on a press night.
No, but I think I did review.
I think you might have, yeah.
Yeah, I think somewhere on YouTube there will be a Narnia video from me. Yes, I think there is. Greetings from Smoky SoCal. Make sure to stay safe. Thinking of everyone affected in that nightmare. Amanda, hello.
Hello.
Good morning to you. Having a slow, sleepy morning in Sydney. Attending your first show of the year tomorrow, Lord of the Rings, which is
that started its life here in the UK.
Yeah.
We were
the
at the start of that
Watermill
show's journey
to go from such a tiny little space
to America,
Chicago, and
Australia.
Fascinating to see that production going truly international.
It's coming back to the UK.
It's not a Trump top. No, it's Donald Duck. Sorry, I didn't realize the implication of just Donald, that it's Donald Duck. It's always Donald Duck. It's always been. There's no other Donald. No, literally not one. No, I can't think of a single other Donald. What was the guy from Scrubs?
I didn't really watch Scrubs.
I think there was a guy in Scrubs. What about Donald Glover? Who's Donald Glover? Do I like Donald Glover? I can't think of any Donalds in the theatre. He is, but I can't bring to... Is there anyone in the theatre named Donald?
Donalds are not that common a name.
No.
But carry on. You're adding
Duck, then Dark.
You're adding more time.
Hello from Bournemouth. Are you excited for Calamity Jane?
We are.
Yes, I've seen that production before. I'm excited to see it again.
I grew up with the film. I really enjoyed it.
I've never seen the film.
I used to, but like, I watched a lot of Doris Day films.
Oh.
Fun fact.
Deadwood stages rolling on over the hills. Edina's Redwood is beginning soon in NYC.
I'm so intrigued.
I think it starts previews this month.
Yes, I'm so intrigued.
At the Nederlander. I need to hear more about it. Because currently all I know is trees, Idina Menzel and trees. Are you going to the Oliver Press Night this Tuesday? Maybe. Maybe we are. Maybe we are. I was watching Ellie's 6 Degrees of Musical Separation before and loved it. We need to watch that.
Yay.
I utterly failed. She sent me in a message one of the examples and she was like, well, that one will be easy. And I was really struggling to put it together. So I'd have been terrible at that video. Maybe Happy Ending must be selling tickets so well that on the weekend it is not participating in 2-for-1 Broadway week. So good for them. I mean,
that makes me really happy because I feel like how it was pre-Christmas, like when it was opening, people were so nervous for it. So for it to do that much of a switch is incredible.
Yeah. Hi, Ella. And hi, Ellie. You could get divorced and repropose. If I just want to be...
This is how far back we are. This is when...
sorry for scaring you at the Musical Con food court, Aaron. I met you at the second Musical Con before the musical reunion.
No, don't worry.
Hi from Ireland. I just wanted to say thanks. After COVID, I fell out of acting, but finding your channel reignited my passion. I've just sent in my audition to be in my dream musical. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. I hope that goes really well for you. And I just hope that you enjoy yourself regardless. But that's lovely. Haven't looked in a while if you have a postbox yet. Is there anywhere I can send an Imagineering pin? Look at his face. It's one of those background things that maybe that can go on the agenda for next week's Monday morning meeting. Yeah. We've started having Monday morning meetings.
My jaw literally just dropped.
I booked to see Importance of Being Earnest at the cinema as the show was just amazing. I thought it was going to be boring and it was far from it. We haven't seen it yet.
No.
We need to see it. Aaron, I was the one that kept shouting, oh my God, hey, and you kept looking around seeing where it was coming from. I can visualize you doing that. New musicals coming to the West End in 2025. Great Gatsby.
Great Gatsby. West End specific. Let me go.
Fewer than usual. I mean, Clueless.
There's Clueless at the Trafalgar. There is new musicals.
Fewer than usual because lots of plays and lots of musicals which have opened and are staying put. So the Savoy isn't having a rotation because Mean Girls is there.
Also, like, there's not new because like Just for One Day is coming back into West End, but that's like not new. It's a transfer technically into the commercial West End.
Yeah.
Hercules.
There you go. Australia for your honeymoon is the recommendation. I think I want our honeymoon to be my first ever trip to Disney World. Oh my God, hey, I saw Mary Poppins on Tuesday and it was Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yay!
Need to see the tour. Yes. Can't believe we haven't seen it yet.
Well, they're currently in Ireland.
That is part of the challenge. Yeah.
Yes, they are, I think.
Very excited that Maybe Happy Ending has started recording. Now, if only Huaboon plush will come out, then things would be perfect.
I know.
I'm hearing it might be a watch this space on the Huaboon front. They had a Huaboon hoodie that said coming soon when we saw it. Has that now been?
I think so.
I need to see what that looks like. Maybe I want a Huaboon hoodie. Oh my god, hey Dan John. Oh, I've scrolled too far. I have scrolled.
Oh my gosh.
Far away.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
All right. Pipe down. There. Fine. Good. What show would you recommend for an April trip?
Ooh, wait, which country?
Which country? If you're in London, then I mean, in New York, everything will be
new will be opening.
So Operation Mincemeat and Maybe Happy Ending.
So there's going to be Smash. There'll be Redwood. There'll be there's going to be a lot of shows. It's a very big period of time.
The Here We Are recording at New York Public Library, New York Library Archive. Quality is great, same as PBS, and once released on streaming. White Gun and Danger 2, it even included pre-show and intermission content. What's your opinion on Mufasa, The Lion King? I haven't seen it yet. Is it worth a watch? Did you like The Lion King live action, which I still haven't seen? If you did, you'll probably also like Mufasa. I enjoyed Mufasa.
I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the fact that they answered questions that you would have about The Lion King.
Yeah, I don't think it's staggering. I don't think it's Lynn's best musical work in some time.
But it's fun, it's a fun origin story for characters. And if you're a Rafiki fan, that is your film.
Rafiki is the MVP.
Rafiki has the moment.
I'm calling it Rafiki the Lion King. Just started rewatching the Death of England series on NT at home. In your personal opinion, based on the experience of seeing them, which of them is your favorite play? The second one, which is Delroy?
Yeah.
Yes, Michael Delroy, Closing Time. Yeah, the second one I thought was, especially on this most recent occasion when I watched them all three in one day, that was the one that I really loved. It's lovely to listen to you both chat theatre. Thank you so much. I'm trying to come down after performing in the opening night of local Panto. Oh, amazing.
That's so fun.
I hope that went so well.
Yeah.
I saw Mary Poppins in Dublin. Has Bert's Upside Down Climb dance been scaled down for this tour? I don't know, because we haven't seen it yet.
I mean, I don't think it had been scaled down for the last tour, and it's probably the same.
Yeah. Sunset and Gypsy will be a hard pick for best revival. It's that classic question of, do you go for something done traditionally but real well, or something that like completely reconceives the show? Which one do you give it to? And we haven't seen Gypsy yet, so
in Mary Poppins, Bert will go up, over, has a moment, carries on, and then down, but it doesn't do much more than that, I don't think, anyhow.
I just wanted to say, after watching Elf on their last day, I walked into seeing Tom Francis outside of St. James. It was so cool to see how the cast records outdoors after seeing Sunset Boulevard twice. I've still never seen it in the wild.
No.
And I feel like so many of our friends have now.
Yeah.
Because we never saw it when it was happening.
That's because we were only free a couple of times at the same time.
And on Broadway, it passes by so many other theatres. Like, you'd come out of a show and you'd be like, "Oh, there it is." And here, you'd have to really go and
here's
see that spot.
Here
for
it was specifically
moment. For Tony predictions so far, is the best musical a race between Maybe Happy Ending and Dead Outlaw? Don't count out Operation Mincemeat. Is what I would say to that. When I first saw it, Bert climbed up the actual proscenium of the theatre, but not this time. Oh, that was the comment on had it been scaled down.
What does he go up and over when you saw it? Because I think it's the same, but it's just a built-in proscenium. But it's because he never actually would go up the proscenium of the theatre. It's like specific things for his tap shoes to go up.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it might just be that
when he goes across the top, it's a little moving platform.
Yeah, it's the safetiness of him doing it. So I wonder if it's just built in. I think that's just for him, for safety.
Also, when we talk about these Cameron Mackintosh and Disney productions downscaling, it's because it's necessity to go to a lot of...
Yeah, there's theatres that they can't go into. So Aladdin, what they do on Broadway and in the West End, they physically can't do.
They can't do trapdoor stuff in a lot of touring theatres in the UK.
And that was like the big spectacles in Aladdin. So those taken out, it becomes a more traditional kind of show.
So you've got to balance, do I want to see the full version of this show, or do I just want it to come to a theatre near me? Because you can have something like the Hamilton tour, which is doing the full version, but it's not going to nearly as many theatres as a tour that would downsize a little bit. Caitlin, your high school is having Little Mermaid auditions next week, and you're trying out for Ariel.
So cool.
Any audition tips? Just practice.
I always think as well, it's good to think, oh, wait, I'm getting a chance to just perform.
Yeah.
That's why I always had to keep reminding myself is, like, you're doing it because you love doing it. So, like, in the moment, just think, you know what, I'm getting a chance to...
I think character almost always matters more than, like...
Yeah,
specific, like, vocal pristine, like... Make choices that feel right for you, bring as much of yourself to it as you can, and then at least you can say, I did my version of it, and that's either the version they wanted or the version that they didn't, basically.
Especially in the music, it's the lyrical content.
Mm-hmm.
What are you saying?
I learned today that Cynthia was in the Pinocchio remake. Who did she play? She was the Blue Fairy. Yes. Hi, MickeyJoTheatre. Hi, Melissa. Do we think Gary Barlow will stick to his word about Finding Neverland coming to the West End summer this year?
I don't think there's any theatres for it.
No, and he has been scouting out.
Unless he's in the Barbican.
He could listen. We don't know what's in the Barbican.
What's in the Barbican.
What's in the Barbican?
Nobody knows what's in the Barbican.
I was on this live last Friday saying, what's in the Barbican, everybody? And I really thought we were going to find out this week. I still don't know what's in the Barbican.
Nope.
Do you know what's in the Barbican?
Nope.
I don't know what's in the Barbican.
Nope. He does. Andrew Lloyd Webber still does new work, yes.
That man has a remarkable vitality. And
also, let's just continue.
I was going to say, my grandma, who no longer works in the Max factory, still occasionally cut down trees. So, you know, things happen. But I just don't, I think it's perfectly reasonable for Cameron Mackintosh at 78.
He's still producing.
He is still producing.
He's still producing. This is the thing.
He's still overseeing
a producer versus
a theatrical empire.
A producer versus a versus a writer is very different. Andrew Lloyd Webber to make new work. I mean, he's producing as well separately, but he has to write new things as a composer.
Also, which do we think is more strenuous? Composing and producing a new musical or composing one? Now, Andrew also is...
I feel like that's a tenfold, though, because how many years does it take to write a musical?
I think more composing happens sat down than producing does. And occasionally your cat will walk over your piano and delete half the score of your new musical, but for the most part, it's lighter work. Like, if Andrew Lloyd Webber is sitting at home playing his piano, he may as well be writing a new musical. And that's like, it's only a slightly professionalized version of how he might enjoy retirement. But he said in an interview he's really excited about writing and still doing new work. Well, okay.
I thought it was something. I was like, it just made me try.
Steven Spielberg is 78 too, still going strong. I mean, rather than having a conversation about like why are they not still going, it should be like, what are they doing to like endorse and support the next generation and the generation after that generation, because they're like two generations behind.
It's because I was just thinking about you, and I was like, you at 82 walking, being like to me, Aaron, I'm gonna go film a YouTube video.
I don't. That'll be very old hat. YouTube reviews by the time I'm 82 will be like the traditional old boring thing.
No, I know. You'll be like, hello.
And there'll be exciting young people doing something new. Hello. Oh my God. Hey. Happy New Year, both of you. Are you coming to Leicester to watch Kinky Boots at the Curve? Probably not going to catch it at the Curve. Do you want to come to see Muriel's wedding in April? But don't think
I don't think the dates can.
Kinky Boots at the Curve, but we are going to try and catch it.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Johannes in Kinky Boots. so much of it makes so much sense. Have we heard him sing yet? That's my only
No, I've
reservation.
not seen anybody say that.
It's my only reservation. Was Sunset originally supposed to be a limited run, or does it not have a closing date yet? Broadway's a little bit different in that they don't from the out.
It was it's open-ended. I think it's always been open-ended.
Yeah, but even if they were like always planning to do it for like 16 months, they wouldn't.
It depends. It depends sometimes. Some of them do say like 16-week.
Yeah.
And you got subsidized, but
so I'm not saying there's no limited run on Broadway, but like the way that they do things, it's currently open-ended.
Yeah. More often a theatre will book it, and then musicals or shows will be like tentatively have that theatre, but if that shows keep selling well, they're going to wait longer.
Yeah, they're going to want to run through the Tonys and potentially beyond. But the question will be, can they replace Nicole? Do they want to replace Nicole? I've seen it, yes. Just booked to see Merchant of Venice 1936. Have you seen this? No. We have friends who saw it when they came over here from the US who enjoyed, but I haven't seen it. Hello from Washington, D.C. Hello to you. We've got to the Donalds. There you go. As a reminder, duck. I do mean Donald Faison from Scrubs. That's who I meant, yes. I don't know who that is. Anna Cathcart as Dorothy. Aaron, what's your favorite Doris Day movie?
Oh, gosh. Do you know, I can't really remember the names. So let me see if I will literally see the cover of it and be like, it's that one. Because
lots of random questions here. Are you a Star Kid fan or going?
I remember watching Pillow Talk. That was quite good.
Are you a Star Kid fan or going to see the return to London concert in April? I don't know nearly as much Star Kid as I should. It's one of those things I've been meaning to get around to catching up on. So not going to the concert in April because there's many more excited people than me who deserve those tickets.
Do you know, it is crazy kind of when you look at Doris Day, you kind of think, how have so many of these films not been made into musicals yet? Because she was kind of the queen of it. Pajama Game's fun as well, actually.
Yeah.
Enjoy Pajama Game.
Mickey, if you were invited to be a panto dame, would you do it? I don't know that I'd be a great panto dame. I would like to be half of a pantomime horse. If I could be a pantomime character where I'm inside some kind of a giant costume, like an animal, like in a theme park, I want to be.
I feel like you'd be the type of characters that like Rob Badger's been playing in the Palladium Panto.
Like sort of like Buttons fairy adjacent. Yeah. Fine. What else do we have here? What is your personal favorite Cameron Mackintosh production over the years? I mean, you've got to go a long way to beat Les Mis, haven't you?
Yeah. I did love the production levels of the Miss Saigon revival.
I loved
the No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's Mary Poppins.
Yours is Mary Poppins.
Because the original production of Mary Poppins, in particular, because that set design was something I don't know when we've had a set that's been near that level. It was a working house on stage.
I still say Les Mis.
And then when the kitchen appeared and it came from sub-level for full kitchen, it was like, oh my gosh.
I didn't get to see that one.
Yeah, you understand why now you get the Little Doll's House, because the Doll's House version, because the original Mary Poppins was multiple rooms everywhere, which were full things. It was pretty darn stunning.
What's one show you want to see the National Theatre to do? I mean, musicals more so than they have and more so than they are. What's a musical I want them to do at the National?
The thing with the National, with musicals, is like they have they don't can't use the drum like they used to. But the amount of set and scope that they can do.
I have my answer.
Do you know what? Maybe Titanic
would be lovely,
because the set design that they could do with a ship on that stage.
I was going to say new musicals. I would like to see new musicals at the National Theatre because it's something that scarcely happens.
And they can afford to do new musicals.
We see a wealth of new plays there. We see so much work developed for and at and commissioned by the National Theatre. We don't see... They don't produce their share of new musicals. No. They are not contributing to the musical theatre art form as much as they have a responsibility to.
Like, we're seeing it start to happen with The Witches and the ones in their Christmas slot, but...
Yeah. Ellie is correct. A lot of the new musicals this year are outside of the West End. Manchester has a great year. Muriel's Wedding coming over from Australia, A Knight's Tale in Manchester. Later in the year, 13 Going on 30, and Freaky Friday. All a very similar kind of musical, many of them. Nothing scared Erin at MusicalCon as much as Hannah in the pig costume.
It took me because everybody was staring at me to begin with. And I was like, what? Like, why is everybody just staring and looking at me? And then I suddenly noticed the costume and that they were walking towards me. And I was like, huh? And then I was just burst out laughing because I was like, iconic costume. And then suddenly I looked and was like, and I saw, it was literally when I saw Ella, then I was like, oh, I know exactly who this is.
I saw Ella instantly alongside the pig, and I immediately put together, I was like, I get what is happening here.
Yeah, it took a delay. It took a delay. I turned my head and then I was like, oh, I know.
Yeah. Didn't see Dirty Rotten Scoundrels in concert. Was very sad to miss it, but I hope it was good. Mary Poppins finishes in Dublin this weekend. I saw it last week. It was amazing. Yay. Glad you enjoyed. Tom Lewis Brown. I've played Scrooge and Panto before, and I'm out and proud non-binary. Amazing. That's so cool. Hi both. Saw Come From Away at the Lowry last week and was very good. What upcoming tours are you most looking forward to this year?
We were talking about tours earlier.
Yes.
Calamity Jane.
Calamity Jane is exciting. Mary Poppins currently on tour. Hamilton new cast.
Yeah.
Great new cast.
Matilda's going back on tour at the end of the year.
And Anne Juliet is another one.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen Anne Juliet.
You have? Yeah. I haven't.
Anne Juliet, the tour's really good.
Yeah.
The tour is really good.
Hello in Indonesia West. Hello, Ben the Overlord. Have we watched Chaos on Netflix? Just finished and you loved it. Orpheus and Eurydice are two of the main characters.
Wow. Did not know that.
Hadestown Association. Are you surprised?
That's why I ain't heard of Runcorn, because it's just outside Liverpool.
Oh, is that how far back we are?
Oh, yeah.
Are you surprised by Wicked only winning 1 Golden Globe, or were you expecting for it not to sweep the awards? I was not expecting it until people started receiving it really well. So before Wicked came out, I was like, Wicked and awards, but like I did not think there was a possibility.
It's one of those things that like musicals just, there's not a track record of a musical being every year. And I mean, with The Colour Purple, they didn't fall in love with The Colour Purple at the Golden Globe. So like, it's not even the type of angle with a musical always.
With Wicked for Good, it will, I mean, I think sequels in general.
The lucky thing for them, though, with Wicked for Good is that it's a lot darker and there's a lot more depth. And I feel like it's a lot darker and a lot more depth for Cynthia.
Oh, Ariana's going to get meat.
But I feel like, well, they both are. But I'm thinking, when you compare the two, especially for Elfie, part 2, No Good Deed, is going to be such a complex one, and for Good, but like No Good Deed in particular, depending on how they stage it for the film.
I mean, there's still a lot that we don't know about it, but it's ultimately it's going to be who they're up against.
Yeah,
it's always just about that timing,
and it's just how open-minded the awards categories are to fit musical theatre. We
have watched The Death Becomes Her 1992 movie. We watched it
recently,
like last week.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, here's a comment. I'm rooting for Sunset over Gypsy for revival. No contest.
Interesting.
Bold. Finally doing a stagey trip to London with the partner this year. Got a lovely 9 shows in 6 days experience.
Yay.
Amazing. Did manage to somehow get tickets to Hadestown with the OBC and Cabaret front row. Wow, you're going to have a great 6 days.
So good.
Already, I would love to know what else you're seeing. What are some of the other shows? Tell us more. Scrooge as the antagonistic protagonist. Interesting. Did you know Ricky Rojas, aka OG Santiago from Moulin Rouge, is doing a live show in London next month? I don't know that I did know that, actually. Jonathan Bailey got a Screen Actors Guild nomination.
Yes, he did.
Thrilled for him. I'm hearing Eva going to cabaret rumors. Is there a big chance for it to become true? I'm hearing the same thing you're hearing, possibly from the same place.
Yeah.
We'll find out together. Going to see Operation Mincemeat on Broadway in April.
Exciting.
Enjoy. Amazing. Any plans yet for NYC in 2025? We're still early in the year. It's all coming together, but you will find out as soon as we have something to share with you, basically. Will you see Pirates of Penzance at the ENO?
How much longer is it on for? Because it started in December.
Yeah, I feel like
I can't. I can tell that compared to like the Broadway production that's coming, they've not been aiming this at all at the musical theatre types.
Yeah.
Which gives me the concept that it might be how I felt watching Kiss Me Kate at the ENO, which was the Welsh, which was not their opera company.
Is it Welsh National Opera?
Yes. And it felt very weird watching a musical from an operatic perspective.
I'd honestly forgotten it was there, and I will look into it. When will Mince... oh, no, sorry, that's you talking to each other. Ignore me. Why did the Spice Girls jukebox musical flop?
I think it was a bit... I think it needed more development time and probably a tryout somewhere else rather than opening cold in the West End.
Probably a factor. It was very poorly reviewed.
It opened in the West End as well, kind of as a... It was kind of Duke Kramer's let's do Mamma Mia again, but this time for the Spice Girls. And I feel like it's interesting though, because we've just never seen anything more about it or heard more about it ever since.
Do we? I mean, it's one of those like
it's been like locked away in a vault, rather compared to other musicals that have that issue, and then get re-looked at and go out on a tour, and it's like. I'm surprised they've never looked back at it, but I wonder if there's a case of the five themselves have gone, we never want to experience that again, so no.
I was going to say, it's one of those famous flops now, where its name is sort of
you say Diva forever and people go, ugh.
Do we think, had it happened in today's theatrical climate in London, it would have sold enough in advance that it would have run longer? Excuse me, regardless of the reviews.
I don't think so, because that was the heat of them being big.
No, I just mean the way that theatre is now, with everything being quite commercially driven. Look at something like Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like I can't comment because I've not watched even like a bootleg of it to know.
No, but just like, do you think it would have sold better before the reviews had come out and in spite of the reviews in today's climate? Because we're seeing that for a lot of shows.
Do you know what? I don't know, because I thought yes, but I initially say yes, but then there's been musicals where people have waited until a review's come out and then it's got sold really well. I suppose
opening night had that same experience this year where the reviews and the word of mouth did close it fairly quick.
Yeah. I think with some of those things, like a Spice Girls jukebox musical, I feel like people would have been like, oh, that's really fun, but is it good? And waited to know if it's good.
Hi from snowy Cincinnati.
Hi.
Did I see Robert Ike's Animal Farm is going on tour again next year, as well as its London transfer? I didn't. Thank you, as always, for bringing these things to my attention, because I failed to notice. I'm planning my theatre trips for this year, and I really want to watch Operation Mincemeat again. Last time I went, the seats were atrocious. What seats would you recommend for the most comfortable time? Comfortable? Stalls on an aisle?
Yeah.
Or circle on an aisle. An aisle may be your friend.
But that is the hardest theatre for comfort.
Yeah, I don't have much else to offer you, I'm afraid. Do we know any of the Regent's Park Open Air Theatre slate this year? There are some rumours, but is there anything concrete? They will announce their entire year of programming.
Which theatre?
Regent's Park.
Probably towards the end of the month.
Yeah. Yeah, expect
end of Jan, mid to start of Feb will be when they all everywhere that hasn't announced their summer season will.
Yeah. Andrew says, kind of dying inside right now. I work at the tour house where the US National Tour of Parade is kicking off. I got to have a half-hour conversation with Michael Arden.
That's
cool. Amazing. Oh my gosh.
That's so cool.
What did you talk about? I got to speak to him. Kate and I spoke to him very briefly after maybe Happy Ending the second time that we saw it on Broadway, and just said something like, big fan of your work, and then waved and fled the theatre. But that's very cool.
I forgot Jennifer Saunders wrote the book for it. Viv Forever.
There have been many terrible musicals with books written by very talented people.
And the thing, but I do feel like even then that show should have, because it was by the sold incredibly, and it didn't.
Yeah,
because her at that period of time, Saunders, Judy Kramer, literally the producer of.
I think not everyone knows how to sell a show on its creatives. I think it can be done, but it's hard, and it doesn't work by itself.
No, I just thought you know what they probably would have done better with, if they'd have done a casting show linked with it in the build up to that show debuting, because people would have followed along at that time, especially.
I mean, they did that with the Take That one with the band,
and that did well.
It did well. It didn't.
It solved the run that it was originally going to go for.
It didn't relight my fire. That's all I was going to say. Love from Iowa. Hello in Iowa. I would try and sing the bit from Bridges of Madison County, but I can't remember how it goes. I've just clipped that part of Mickey saying, "Oh my God, hey, as an 82-year-old, we all have that to look forward to forever now." Is it possible that the new 6 West End cast could be announced next week? It's possible.
They will be announced
this month, you'd have thought.
Yeah, they will be announced soon.
Yeah. Any more challenges with the Legend Ellie Talks Theatre? We need it to get warmer and brighter. The day is cold here and it ends too soon.
The ending too soon is definitely the hardest part.
Yeah. Even Taylor Swift couldn't save cats, I guess. I think if Taylor Swift were to see cats out on the street that needed saving, she would save them. In terms of the film, I don't think she was well placed to save it.
You've just been Reddick.
How far is Mickey behind with YouTube comments? Lol. I'm just trying my best. I'm sorry. What do you guys think the next long-running musical to close in the West End will be? I don't like to speculate about closing because it affects so many people's jobs. And I think people forget that. I'm seeing a lot of people making theatre predictions for the next year. It's being like, I think this show will have a shock closing. And I'm like, imagine you worked at a Tesco and you went on TikTok and someone was like, my prediction for this year is that the Tesco in Stevenage is going to close. You'd be like, that's where I work. How anxiety inducing is that to be like, do they know something that I don't? Am I losing my job? Do I have to start looking? Should I start auditioning? They're calling their agent. Don't do that. Don't play into that. I know it's drama and people get caught up in it, but it's people's jobs. The lovely new MC was just on.
Billy Porter was.
Oh, I caught it just before seeing you two on live. How are we both today? We're good.
Thank you.
We went to IKEA. We had dinner there. It was nice. We've done those. We've done those. Any opinions on Sarah Hyland taking over for Eva at Gatsby? I'm just excited to see Sarah Hyland going back to musical theatre. She did a little shop.
She seems to have really found what she wants to do.
Yeah. Maybe I could do Dandini.
Ah, look at that.
Panto. Mickey Jo's only behind because he gives such considerate answers. Yeah. Tell him. I heard Phantom is being reimagined for Broadway. You heard almost correct. It's being reimagined for off-Broadway.
And it's immersive, which I feel like some people will love and some people will... It's very every time I think about Phantom as an immersive musical, I'm like, actually, there's quite a few elements of that I feel like will just be too scary for people.
Yeah.
To be that close to.
Are Lightning Thief and or Hadestown good shows for someone who's into Greek mythology? Completely. Yes, both of them. Very much.
Yes.
Is the real Fleet Street worth visiting for a Sweeney Todd fan? There is a Sweeney Todd's Barbers that happens to be on there, but it's just like
it's just
a
kind of a street
business name.
It is just kind of a street.
Yeah.
Like, in all honesty, nobody's really ever maximized on that. Being on that street.
I didn't see The Light Princess at the National, and I was furious. I was very upset to have missed it. But I do. The only song I know from it.
Hex.
What do you mean?
What are you saying about National with new musicals?
I'd forgotten about Hex, and you reminded me. How dare you? The only song I know from The Light Princess is "You Keep Pushing My Chair Away."
I was trying to see if you wouldn't notice, and you'd be slowly
It's just
moving.
a weird and sad thing to do. I keep trying to answer this one question, and you're telling me I take too long for answering. I can't win. You do the next one.
No, go.
I don't remember what I was saying.
I'm sorry.
The Light Princess. The only song I know from The Light Princess is that one that was in a trailer when Rosalie Craig was singing, "I felt good, better than good." That's what I was going to say. Because they didn't put it on NT Live, and I was very sad at the time because that was the musical that they were doing, and they don't often do musicals. And they didn't NT Live screen it, and that's at the time that was the only way I saw National Theatre shows. You could do that one.
My friend is currently in New York. So far, he has seen Sunset with Mandy as Norma, The Outsiders, Hadestown, Great Gatsby, and Stereophonic. He's seeing Gypsy today.
Wow, that's a good slate.
That's a cool list.
You're seeing already 3 Tony Award-winning shows, 1 Tony Award-winning Best Play and 2 Tony Award-winning Best Musicals, and chances are a Tony Award-winning Best Revival to be decided this year as well. So that's a really good slate of shows. Going to see Shucked tomorrow, so excited in Chicago. Yay. Enjoy. Have you seen Emilia Perez? It's incredible. I've heard some very mixed things about it. Sort of morally on like it's filmmakers and the perspective and the story that it's telling, and I've read the synopsis because I was curious, and I don't know how I feel about it. I don't all the way know how I feel about it, I'll be honest.
If you have a film that everybody's been saying is really good and I didn't realize would be really good, what I wasn't sure about was Better Man. That seems to be getting such better reviews than I think I would have ever expected from seeing all the trailers. As
soon as I saw Carol Radziwill from The Real Housewives of New York liked it on Instagram against her initial better judgment, then suddenly I realized that it may be a much better film than I had considered it would be. I'm seeing in Manchester this year A Knight's Tale, at the end of the year Freaky Friday. Enjoy, Charles, enjoy. Any dream casting for the rumored Joseph movie by John M. Chu? If they go the route of stunt casting, I think Jessie J could genuinely do a good job as a narrator. I don't know how a narrator even works on screen in a I can't begin to have a conversation about a Joseph film because the filmed version with Maria Friedman and Dottie Osmond is what it is, and it works really well. I don't get what it looks like.
It could be how they framed it with Sheridan, which is a teacher with her school kids.
Yeah, which is basically what the Maria Friedman one does.
Yeah, but like an elevated version where it's just her in a classroom rather than in a school hall.
But are they just like singing to camera the whole time, just giving it way, way back many centuries ago, not long after? Because that's going to be weird in cinemas. If Wicked made everyone musical theatre fans, that's going to push them away again. I'm just saying. I can't. TikTok's going to have a field day, and they're going to be doing TikTok. They're going to be giving it like Jacob and Sons. I can't with that. I don't think it's the best use of John M. Chu's talents. I think he's very brilliant, and it's not the best. No. But also, if we are talking casting, it should probably, for among the first times in Joseph's life, actually use Middle Eastern performers. Would probably be a good idea.
Jessie J though did audition for Alphabet and is trying to do theatre again. She started in the West End, so
yeah.
I'd like to see her do musical theatre again.
I'm seeing the US tour of Kimberly Akimbo soon. Weirdly, the ads for it show the Broadway cast.
That's a fun cast about. I mean,
the ads are all over the place.
Ads are famous to be showing different casts. Currently, the ads for Hadestown in New York are showing the West End cast. And in Canada is showing the West End cast. It's and the tour, sorry. It's a thing.
Yeah.
It is very much a thing.
Wicked for Good is not really a sequel, it's just Act 2. And yet it is a sequel. It's very much a sequel.
It's just weird because it's a musical being adapted in that way, and we've never seen that before.
Yeah. It being Act 2 cinematically as a separate film renders it a sequel.
Yeah.
My sister and I watched Nye, Vanya, and Prima Facie on NT at home this week.
Fun.
Fab. Saw the latest performance of Joseph and was really disappointed. It felt like a cheap imitation of previous shows. Do you think this version is here to stay for the long term?
Yeah.
I do. I will say the tour that came before this one didn't feel less cheap, but tickets were less. So ups and downs. But you can watch my video review, and I do echo many of your thoughts about this production.
Hi. Hello from Hamburg.
Hello in Hamburg. Any plans to come back to Germany? Actively, yes. Not for a while yet, but we are planning to, yes. Going to Broadway in April and hearing that Eva rumor just sent me into hyperventilation, fave actress and favorite show. Listen, I hope it all lines up for you. I do. Sometimes magic happens, like when we went back and Sherry Renee Scott was doing Little Shop. Where are we? There we are. Is Donovan the first former Joseph to return to the show as Pharaoh?
Donny Osmond.
Well, Jason did it first, though.
Yes.
At the Palladium, like previously. With Jack Yarrow.
No, I'm thinking about the question. I think, yes, they have. But on the tours. Because there's been some very weird concoctions where Josephs have been...
I don't think Josephs have gone to Pharaohs.
Josephs have been narrators.
Not that way round. They've been Pharaohs and narrators that have then become Josephs afterwards. So Keith was a narrator who then became a Joseph. Anthony Hansen was a Pharaoh first and then became a Joseph, I believe. Possibly someone happens to do it, but like high profile wise, I believe you are correct. I've got Joseph in my head now. Have you little brothers, your little numbers up? One of you has stolen my precious golden cup. Maybe we'll discover more about Elphaba's post-Oz life. What is that in response to? I don't know. Maybe we will. Well, let's take the book. Everyone assuming that they're going to suddenly now go back to the Wicked book and deviate from the film, from the musical plot. They're not. It wouldn't make sense for it to. Everyone, like, since they announced this film, people have been in the comments saying, like, oh, they're definitely going to lean more into the book and they're going to do all these things.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a musical. Winnie Holzman has written the screenplay, which means it will be the musical, just an evolved version.
Yeah.
Oh no, that marketing for Viva Forever was iconic. Like,
it was with the stars.
It's the 5-1 stars that made it a 5-star.
Yeah. You have to look at what is all coming out now, and it's all the films from my teens now being turned into musicals. Many of them, yes. Hello, Mick and Aaron. Excited to see Othello, Dorian Gray, Vanya, Mincemeat, Glengarry, Glen Ross, GNGL.
Good night, good luck.
Thank you. Just in time, others on Broadway was Mind Blown Emoji by Sunset and Cabaret in November. That's an amazing roster of shows. That's many of the most high-profile shows from this coming Broadway season, from this current Broadway season, in fact. What dates are you doing the Fringe this year? Listen, early days. I never know in January. I really liked the way we did it last year. So that would be good to replicate that as closely as possible.
I guess the only different thing this year is where my birthday is going to land.
What day is your birthday this year? Is it a Saturday now? Stop kicking the table. You're shaking the... I keep seeing it vibrating there because you're kicking the table over there. It's like flashbacks to being a teacher. Sit still. Do your sums. There's one broken seat in the stalls at Mincemeat in London, and that was the most painful experience I've had sitting at a theatre. I've had more painful experiences sitting at a theatre, but it hasn't been because of the seats. The Hudson, at least in the orchestra, seems to have more legroom than most theatres. Listen, almost anything on Broadway beats the worst of the seating conditions in the West End. If you're even talking about Broadway theatres, you don't know what we go through.
You also get higher seat backs on Broadway.
When are you back at Why Am I So Single? We're hoping to rush it at the weekend because we want to see Colette's last show. If anyone has any intel, is Colette doing the Sunday matinee? Because we're hoping to get rush tickets, which may be a fruitless endeavor because I imagine lots of people will be trying to, at least. Anyone you'd love to see in the new cast of 6? Hoping we'll get an announcement in the next week or 2. There's been so many casts now. Just more talented.
I'm just excited to see new people and also to see people that have I like that with the West End cast we've seen people come in who've done the cruisers before or have done town a mix or have been a super swinger or an alternate and then they become
family.
It that I do really enjoy it. I like that they bring in new people but also kind of 6 in the West End has been responsible for a lot of Queen's West End debuts, even if they've not been main cast, and they've been tour cast and come in to do a couple of performances, and then it's meant they've got their West End debut.
Yeah. Do you think Patrick Marber could do another musical? I would like to see him do a revival of James Joyce's The Dead by Richard Nelson and Sean Davey. I think the fact that he could put that producers together shows a real a compelling understanding and caliber for musical comedy, which is it's the hardest kind of subgenre of musical theatre, I think, to be able to do tonally. And coming from the background that he comes from theatrically to then do the producers is so wild to me. But yes, I would very much like to see that. Will the next Jamie Lloyd Shakespeare be as boring as The Tempest? Invariably, no, because there are multiple problems, I think, with The Tempest. One of them is Sigourney Weaver's performance at its heart. And I think with Much Ado About Nothing, Tom Hiddleston and Hayley Atwell, they are likely, I would have thought, to give stronger performances. So on that front, at least, that will be good. And so much of it is them bouncing off each other. But also, the really broad comedy works in The Tempest.
Yeah.
And so maybe Much Ado is going to work. I also think, in Romeo and Juliet, it was all black and white and red. And in The Tempest, it was all black and white and grey. And blue was the signature colour. And in Much Ado, I think it might be pink. And if everyone's in pink, that's inherently less boring. It's still a bit bizarre, but it's not boring. Matt says, I saw Viva Forever and it was dreadful. The story was poor and the songs weren't showed off to their best. However, the Steps musical has been pitched just right to their fans. Loved it. There you go.
Yeah.
Worst seats I've ever experienced were at Shakespeare in the Park in NYC. So glad they're renovating the Delacorte. And they must be nearly done. Is it reopening this summer? Yes, I think it is.
I think so.
Yes. We saw a little at the public. We saw what's going to be the new... Yeah. Because they're using old water containers from the city for the new cladding on the facade of the building, I think is what they say. 1 degree C, highest temperatures in Nottingham for 2 hours tomorrow, so I can imagine London isn't much better. It is chilly.
Cold.
Oh, of course. Oh, this is about the conversation with Michael Arden. We mainly spoke about his portrayal of Quasimodo and Once on This Island. Those 2 shows really influenced my studies at college. How amazing for those to be such impactful shows for you that you then got to speak to Michael Arden about them. That's so cool. Sending sunshines from Indonesia. Thank you. It's not working, but I appreciate you trying. What do you think about 42 Balloons coming to the States? I'm so excited. You should be excited. Yeah. I'm excited for the show. I'm excited for the audiences of Chicago. It's American set. I think it'll do very well there. I think Broadway is a little better at nurturing new musicals based on quality alone. I can't wait for you to all listen to that music and get so excited about Jack Godfrey. I think it's great news. Do you think this is the year we'll get a Beetlejuice London announcement? Maybe late this year or next year? Maybe. I say that's based on nothing, but maybe.
That's true. Paddington might be this year. They announced that it's this year, but we haven't heard anything more.
Why doesn't the West End publish grosses? Seating capacity sometimes helps when deciding what to see. Just because They never have historically, and I'm assuming there's a lot of people who don't want those figures to be made public for a whole host of reasons.
It'd be a very big decision, and it would need everybody involved to be happy with it.
I think producers have more power with that being not disclosed.
And also, don't take a seating plan and how sold it says it is on there as fact, because how ticketing works, that map might not be accurate.
Mm-hmm.
There could be seats that they're saying are sold, but are actually being sold by a different ticket provider.
Phantom Off-Broadway allegedly is going to be in a new bespoke venue. Oh, yes, I know about this, Andrew. Yes. I need Dave Malloy's Moby Dick to come to London so badly. I need Ghost Quartet to come back while we're talking about Dave Malloy shows. And I'm hearing great things about his new one that everyone was calling one of their favorite shows of the year in New York. Did you see this? I know that all the TikTokers.
Yeah, the Three Houses.
Yes.
Well, it's based on the Three Little Pigs.
Yes.
Set in during the shutdown.
Do you think Next to Normal will return? There's still rumors about, is it going to Broadway with the same UK cast? I hope that it does. I hope American audiences get a chance to see it. I don't think it'll return in the UK, sadly. I think the next thing that will happen is it'll get, like, licensing will go out in the UK and we'll be able to see regional productions, which will be fun. Very excited for the Hamilton tour cast change. Can't wait for Chastity Crisp taking over as Angelica.
We saw Chastity in as Talia as well.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really cool because, she was the original Angelica in Hamilton in Germany, and now she's going to be the Angelica on the tour. And I really would like to see her as well, because to see somebody that's done it before in a different language and then to do it in English. And like she was saying, she's American, that's doing her first English professional job because she's only been doing musical theatre in German.
Yeah, I apologise, everyone. That was fluff that we all saw in my hair. Aaron, been loving your Instagram posts, says Sam.
At Aaron James UK.
Yes, over on Instagram. What was the name of the Spice Girls jukebox musical? It was called Viva Forever. Viva Forever. Do you think the name for Wicked Part 1 should be renamed to Wicked Loathing or some kind of other reference?
I think if they renamed the first one, it would just be Defying Gravity.
Yeah, I like just Wicked.
Yeah.
It's fine, and it doesn't matter too much. Am I the only one that thinks that it's insane that Disney hasn't tried to make a stage version of the Muppets movies?
So they have workshopped, I think, Muppets on stage, Muppet musicals, for a very long time. But I just don't think anything has landed enough, and I'm gathering it would be a very, very expensive musical. Because the thing with the Muppets that people don't think about is, compared to Sesame Street, compared to Avenue Q, you're able to see the performers and the fact they're puppeteering. Winnie the Pooh, the musical, like how it's worked, you can. The Muppets have never shown puppeteers, and I don't think you could on stage, because that's not the vibe of the Muppets. And I think that would make it so much harder to find ways to hide puppeteers for a whole musical.
Yeah. Bipo says, I had no idea men also played the narrator in Joseph. How different is it? Keith had different keys in a bunch of places. I haven't heard much of the recording, but I know that he had a slightly different version. I've listened to the Mega Mix when he had a different version of the Pharaoh story bit. And he, at the end, he was like, Kubika Master. But I imagine it's just different keys, I imagine, and the current tour of Joseph, this current production has completely different keys to the original because the narrator doesn't sing as high for baffling reasons. I have the opportunity to see local productions of Sunshine on Leith or Our House. Do you have any preference? Never seen Sunshine on Leith. Heard good things.
Yeah.
I like Our House a lot. I like Our House a lot.
Yeah.
Big fan of Our House. Colette normally does Tuesdays. Ellie, that's a lie. That is not... Colette did Tuesday this one
No, she has been doing Tuesdays.
Has she?
She's been doing both, I think.
I'm confused.
When she put her list of dates, it was Tuesdays and Sunday matinees.
Oh, did you do 2 a week?
I think it must have gone up to being 2 a week at some point.
Oh.
I know she had been doing Tuesdays. Some Tuesdays. That's why when Sean said about it, I said, well, I'm kind of confused because she did Tuesdays.
Avia, I'm going to answer this question. What's your favorite interaction of ours? When you hit me on the underground yesterday, when you assaulted me because I had my AirPod style earphones in and I did not hear you. And I told Aaron afterwards, I was like, oh, I got hit on the underground. And you were so concerned for a split second before I was like, Avia attacked me. Yes, that was very funny to run into you after having just read your Instagram comment as well. It was like, wish me and my sister luck because we're doing a 3 show in 3 different cities weekend in February. Dear Evan Hansen in Bristol on Valentine's Day, then Mary Poppins in Edinburgh, and Kinky Boots in Glasgow the next day.
Very
Wow. Wow. I assume you are
Bristol
local
to
to
Edinburgh
one of those. Yeah. Are you flying from Bristol to Edinburgh, or you can take a train, I think. The one that goes up.
But it's a very long one.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. It's a shame that Sigourney Weaver is bad in The Tempest. She's an amazing actress. Thank you for your review, by the way, Mickey. I was thinking about watching that, and I would have hated it. I mean, I don't say this as loudly as I should at the end of my reviews as much as I used to, but I do always encourage people to still go and see the show and make up your own minds. Have you caught Ballet Shoes yet? No, I'm very behind with the National, sadly. What do you think of the rumors Alan Cumming is doing a 1-month stint in NYC as MC? I've literally not heard that rumor.
I've not heard anything about that.
And I don't think it will happen, and I hope that it doesn't, because it's not the same production. He wouldn't be able to do what people want him to do, and it's a new day. It's a different...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's to anyone's benefit. Yes, if you have questions, feel free to email me. If you have questions, send me some questions. I will do my best to get back to you. Sorry I was away and didn't see if you answered my question. Have you seen the Mary Poppins UK Tourcast, or are you going to see them, and have you heard about it? I spoke to one of the show's composers who said he thought the cast were very good. So that's very encouraging. We haven't seen it yet because we would have seen it in Bristol, but we were not in the country.
Yeah. When
it had its official press night.
Yeah.
Can we say when we're seeing it?
Yeah. I said it's we're definitely seeing it on my birthday, but that's in August.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so we've got to come back to because my birthday's been planned. So any Edinburgh Fringe plans, I have already decided what I am doing for my birthday.
Yeah, but that was always going to be the case anyway.
Yeah.
What do you think of the almost confirmed Kelly Clarkson as Anne to close Juliet and NYC this summer? Again, you're quoting rumors I had not
heard anything
about whatsoever. I would love Kelly Clarkson to go into it. I'm just sad if it's closing because it's been doing so well. And they've just started figuring out how to do their stunt casting. What is your favorite West End theatre and why? Got a little love for the Wyndhams lately.
Yeah, I'm always going to say Prince Edward, though.
Gielgud is special.
Mm-hmm.
Prince Edward is special. I just don't feel... You know what it is I like so much about the Prince Edward. I just don't feel cozy in the stalls because it's so wide.
But I think what I love about it is that it gives me the feeling that I got with Broadway, and I was like, it's the theatre that I get it in. I think I just love how it's designed and how all the bars are, and I love like the walkways that you take to get to your seats. Like it all just feels very.
I love Drury Lane
special.
For that reason as well.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous. That's not technically true about the Muppets. They've done live shows at the O2 where the performers were not fully hidden.
Oh yeah, they did that Muppets big concert thing. Mm-hmm. The only thing I would say with that is I need to look which performers did it, because it's tricky if it's not like it's tricky. Because there's something about the famous Muppet, like the iconic Muppeteers, and then doing it, which was that concert, because it was the Muppet voices. And what would happen with Broadway was, if it wasn't them, I think the issue as well is, if they did that, would it then feel like it's like it should never be compared to Avenue Q? Like it should be, and I just can't see Disney letting that happen.
What is your favorite Broadway theatre and why? Tricky. They're a lot more similar once you get inside.
Yeah, there's quite a few that I'm like, there's this type of theatre on Broadway that I like. I have a lot of love for the Niederlander.
I like the Schubert, I think.
Yeah, I like the Schoenfeld. I like the Jacobs. I like the Music Box a lot.
I like the Schoenfeld.
The Palace is stunning.
Palace is stunning.
The Fontaine has such a vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's the walls with the like mirrors and the design on it. I'm like, that's
I like the Hirschfeld for a lot of reasons. Favorite's hard.
Favorite is hard because I don't. Yeah, because I like the Imperial as well. I don't know.
I like Studio 54 a lot, actually.
Studio 54 is stunning.
We will be seeing the Hadestown OBC on the West End, all being well. Aaron got tickets while I booked for the wrong month. Pew, 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 pew. Genius me.
I love you've been watching tons of the Muppets. Oh, speaking of the Muppets, I'm wearing Kermit the Frog socks that I bought today. This is weird.
Turn.
I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
He's got Kermit the Frog on his socks. You're just going to have to trust us.
I can't do it to get my leg any higher in the right direction.
Do you think we could ever see a Neil Patrick Harris cabaret return? Barely any footage of when he did it in the 90s. I mean, there's a whole bootleg, but again, I just don't know.
I mean, age isn't really a question.
No, he could do it if he wanted to. I just don't know if anyone from that previous production, or who would be the first from that previous production to do this new one, would be an interesting question. On your next trip to NYC, you should come upstate. There is really amazing theatre in Albany. I'm sure there is. Would love to travel up there. Do you ever go and see shows at the gorgeous Crazy Coq's Cabaret down at Brasserie Adele? I have been.
We haven't been there for ages.
No,
I've seen multiple ones there, but I never end up just getting around to looking at the schedule, even.
Why do you think the show itself was reviewed much better in London for Tammy Faye? Cultural context. We had no idea who she was here.
And I think the power of all the people, the creatives involved, had a bigger sway of it when it was opening here.
The show was better.
Yeah.
In the smaller space, that focused it more. It was better with Andrew, I'm sorry to say.
And Zubin Vala.
Yeah. The material was better before the cuts that they made, actually. John Branios and Eva Noblezada cabaret reunion. Please just take my money. I mean, as much as I would love to see that, I think they need screen names. And John Branios has been doing some screen work, but I think they're going for as big as they can get. I'm just glad. I'll be glad if it continues to extend past the current Broadway leads, because I think they should give it a chance. And if you could put any Disney movie on stage, which would it be? I'm dying for Princess and the Frog. I need to see a stylized version of Lewis belting When We're Human. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
With a lot of very clever puppetry for the frogs.
And you got the cool steam. You could find a cool way to bring on the steamship.
Yes.
The ship.
Yeah, that would be fun. What would we love to see on stage in the Disney realm that isn't already happening?
I'm trying to think what's either that I've never heard is being worked on.
What about the fictional Lilo and Stitch musical from...
Do you know what? Thingy? Would be fun. Would be a vibe.
What was the film? Better
Late Than Ever.
Which, for everyone saying Norbert Leo Butz deserved a cameo in the Wicked movie because Adina and Kristen got one. Spoiler alert, I assume we all know by now. Him and
Michelle
Federer both got a funny line about Wicked in Better Late Than Ever, where they played parents. Did you know originally they were going to have the Bust My Buttons line in Wicked Part 1, but Ariana requested it be changed? I'm trying to work out what line. Oh, you mean of the guard at the city and the wizard and being like, that's a horse of a different color. Yeah. I had read that, yes. I'd caught up and then I lost it. What were each of your favorite moments in the Wicked movie?
Ooh.
That's a great question. Wizard and I Unpopular were both great. Defy Gravity was great. It was just a lot to take in.
I think I loved how well Wizard and I translated to film. Like, it just felt like with the Wizard and I, it felt like such a traditional Disney animated princess moment. And that is what that song is. And I was like, perfect. I was like, exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Perfect protagonist moment.
Dancing Through Life for different reasons. I've only ever seen the Sunshine on Leith movie, but it was so good. But apparently it's sort of different to the musical, but the movie is why I need Dexter Fletcher to direct a Hair musical.
I liked that film.
I see it. I see the vision. Mickey, I forgot to ask, what did you think of Oedipus? Staggering. I sort of don't want to talk about it yet because I'm seeing Oedipus at the Old Vic, and that invites comparative conversation. I can only see 2 shows this year in London, so I'm grateful for the review. I would have been so annoyed wasting on a show that I would definitely hate. That's a fair point. Yeah. Would you ever come to see shows in Australia or do a show in Australia? I would love to do both. That's the stuff of dreams. Yes. My favorite will always be Theatre Royal. I've had 17 different trips to that theatre and got to go backstage at Shrek. Oh, very cool.
That's cool.
Very cool. I played Prospero in The Tempest as a teenager and Romeo in Romeo and Juliet. The range. As a past cast member of the original Sunset, I just can't get behind the new one.
Wow.
I mean, that's an amazing thing to be able to say. I think it's difficult always when you have some kind of a personal relationship, because I go see shows now that I did for a week in Amdram, and I'm like, it's crazy that they cut like this one specific line because it's so important. And like Tyler Joseph Ellis has made a whole skit about this of like high school theatre kids going to go and see a professional version of the show that they just did.
Yeah.
And then all being like that's not how it goes. Why are they doing it like that? And so I think you can love a version of the show and then love a reinterpretation, but if you were in it, it's such a different kind of a relationship you have to the show. So I think that's very understandable.
Yeah.
Actually. Juliet's grosses have been lowering and multiple celebs said no to offers as Shakespeare and the Sondheim Theatre is very sought after due to the high capacity but close view and design. Fair enough. I mean, I don't think of that as a failure because Anne Juliet has had a lot of success on Broadway. It's recouped, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's recouped. It's been really successful. It's like the last show standing of its season.
Yeah.
So yeah, any opinions on Dead Outlaw? Haven't seen
it. So it'll be the first time.
Did you know Cynthia Erivo teaches singing like she currently has students? I mean, on the one hand, that's amazing. On the other hand, so intimidating. Yeah. So intimidating to be like Cynthia Erivo's student. Just like, what's the point? Of
I mean, though, if you just said that to someone, they'll be like, oh, wow.
I would pay for singing lessons with Cynthia Erivo just to be like, yeah, I'm struggling. What if you sang it? Just you sing all of this and just keep bringing different songs each week that I had no intention of singing. I just want to hear Cynthia Erivo sing. And I'm like, I'm struggling with this. Just you sing it. You sing it, Cynthia Erivo. Rumors are Jennifer Hudson being stunt casted as the nurse in Anne Juliet in New York. Crossover with Kelly states, I mean, that would keep it open for as long as they stayed in it. I'd love to go to Chicago just to see the Home Alone house. Sure. I find going to see the exteriors of buildings, like, I don't know, I really liked it in... I'm going to embarrass myself now. We did that for the Emily in Paris filming locations in Paris, which I enjoyed.
I mean, it's for friends.
Well, I was going to say we did it for Friends, and it meant less to me. I don't know. And I love Friends, as do you.
Yes.
But
I see. It meant something for me.
No. I feel it didn't mean something. I just got less out of it. Was what I felt.
Yeah.
Just seeing the building.
I think there is definitely like how much can you do if it's not one that you can also go in or.
Do you know what the difference is? They didn't film there. Like the actors weren't there.
No, the actors had never. Yeah, you do
realize
Emily
in Paris, like the Savoy door and her building, she'd stood on where you were standing.
Yeah, you
so,
knew that they'd filmed there, not just like
that. I think is the difference.
That's the exterior building, and I think as well, like with the Friends one, because the shop front below is a restaurant and isn't a coffee shop. If that was if it was a Central Perk and you went in there and it was set up exactly like that, they'd
make a killing. Oh my god!
And people would get really emotional.
Yeah,
I mean, you see people like get all the feels just seeing it, but I think there's a very strong difference between seeing kind of the building and seeing that building with a Central Perk.
Yeah. I'd love to see Alex Newell in 6, honestly. So would I. But you know who would not love to see Alex Newell in 6? Alex Newell. Saw the producers last week, and it's possibly the best thing I've ever seen in London. Wow, very high praise. Who were your favourite actors to meet at a stage door who you found to be particularly nice? Michael Xavier was very nice when I was younger.
Tina Miller was lovely when I met her after Sister Act.
Eva and... John. Do I mean John Brion? Yes. Eva Noblezada and John Briones at Miss Saigon, both very nice. I've met so many people who've been very nice, but like extraordinarily are the ones that are standing out. And Sheridan Smith, extraordinarily lovely. Oh, I've lost it. The Sondheim Gershwin Marquee are my favourite Broadway houses only because of the lobby space.
Yeah.
Listen, it's important. It's
Lobbies
an important
are really
factor.
important.
But that's what I like about Studio 54 is that long, glamorous walk up with all the mirrors. It's drama.
But Lanfranc also has a big lobby spaces.
No, it's got the upper... Yeah. About to book tickets to see Ghost Quartet in Sydney. Oh, I love Ghost Quartet. I almost want to tell you to listen to it first because it's so interwoven and abstract, and you can enjoy it thinking it means nothing, or you can go away and spend 3 hours being like, oh, that's about this and that's about this, and there's still parts of it that are just nonsense. Like it's not all going to connect, but there is lots of deeper meaning there if you want to find it. And also some of it is still just mad. I wonder when we'll get an announcement for Musical Con 2025 and West End Live dates.
Yeah.
Did you see Glenn Close in Sunset Boulevard 9 years ago? Did not. Wouldn't Gail Rankin be the first person to be in both productions of Cabaret? You're right, yes, but didn't play the same role in both. Poor Glenn Close, hasn't she been trying to make a Sunset movie for years now?
She spoke about it recently.
She's still trying?
Literally just.
Yeah, unironically she is trying. Hi, Mickey Jo. I enjoyed watching your video. Thank you, Jordan. That's very nice of you to say. Billy Porter was terrific on the Graham Norton show tonight. You should check it out. Maybe we shall. Some rumours for Cabaret and NYC. It's been rumoured that Orville Peck will be taking over as MC. Anything that sells tickets will be music to their ears. Even Noblezada is in talks right now to take over as Sally Bowles. They are looking for Hugh Jackman level of fame for MC. Who's an actress who hasn't played a lead in Wicked, but it feels like they should have? Oh, so many.
There's so many people.
So many.
So many performers, and it's that thing of just like. I watched somebody talk about it recently. It's so true. Is depending on what show somebody picks or is in, they sometimes just never free to do the auditions for it. And so it's like they could have ended up becoming an alphabet, but the shows that they got cast in meant they could never be seen for alphabet because they'd never be able to do the contract.
But also, it is like half as easy to be an alphabet in the UK as it is in the US, because not only do our alphabets stay for longer, I don't think they really get the option on Broadway to renew for more than a year. Not from how Mary-Kate Morrissey spoke about it recently in one of her vlogs. There's also the US tour constantly. Now, the UK tour of Wicked is infrequent comparatively, and often they come back in the UK. That's happened before in the US, but like Kerry Ellis came back, Alexia Kadeen came back, and came back again. Rachel Tucker came back. Laura Pick came back. Like, are we doing a Juliet press night? If you mean in Wimbledon, the answer is no. I'm sorry to say. George McKay, does he? Yeah, he sings "Because Sunshine on Leith." Yes, I could see that. I could see that as a Claude. Yes, I'm trying to scroll up. I'm struggling to. Well, I didn't actually answer your question, Isabel. Who's an actress who hasn't played a lead in Wicked, but it feels like they should have? I mean, I'm just rooting for a black actress to be cast as Alphaba on Broadway in a principal capacity, because that has never happened. And there's a lot of actresses I want to see play Alphaba in the UK. Doesn't have to be now. Could be in the next 10 years. I would like to see Danielle Fiamania play Alphaba. I would like to see Lauren Byrne play Alphaba. I would like to see Elsa Davidson play Alphaba. There's a whole list. And occasionally I see someone and I'm like, you're going on the Alphaba list. Kaylee McKnight is another. Greetings from Buenos Aires. Excuse me, I just need to reboot myself there. Greetings to you in Buenos Aires. Thank you very much for the kind words. Did you see The Outsiders when we were in New York? Saw it back in April of last year.
It wasn't one of your favorites.
Wasn't one of my favorites. Things to enjoy about it. It was fine. It was good. It was decent. It was not bad. I didn't think it was remarkable. And a lot of people think it's remarkable. I don't think it's remarkable. Have you ever thought about doing a Disney vlog on your next trip? Love your Legoland video. I've thought about it because we watch Disney vlogs all the time.
It's
for me, it often signifies a time when we're really busy and we go there for a holiday and to switch off. And I've vlogged Disney a little bit before on one of our Paris trips. I vlogged a bit of Christmas Disney. Usually it's not something I want to do because I like feeling like I'm not working. And I know the idea of filming myself going around a theme park doesn't sound like work, but in a weird way, it makes it feel like it. So usually, no, both because I think a limited percentage of the people who watch my things on here are interested in it. Not no people, but a limited percentage. And also because it's nice to completely switch off. Hello from Mexico. Love your videos. Thank you so much. You guys should come here to watch shows. Listen, anywhere in the world I haven't yet been to watch theatre that is safe, that is safe for us to go to as a couple, we would be happy to travel to. Here in Arkansas, we don't get a lot of theatre and I work nights, so I live vicariously through you and look for your recommendations to fuel my YouTube searches to try to see, I assume that's going to say recordings. Well, that's really lovely to hear. I'm glad I can help you connect to the theatre world. I got to do a tour of all the Succession filming locations when I was in New York last summer, and it was awesome.
That's cool.
Love that for you. That sounds very fun. By the way, love the challenges. Oh, thank you. Hopefully going to get to do some, like we said, when it's less cold and dark in the UK. Thoughts on All In? Seems like an interesting show, but wouldn't know if you can categorize it as a play. I haven't seen it, have seen the discourse, have seen the marketing, and it calls itself All In Comedy About Love rather than comedy About Love, which is the difference. And I think it's basically a similar kind of an experience to, it sounds like what you would like to see comedians of that caliber, and like you can sit in audiences for a lot of live show tapings in New York, and I don't think it costs as much. I mean, I don't know what it costs. I don't believe it costs as much as tickets to that Broadway show. So I have mixed feelings.
Sorry, that's why I've been leaning backwards to you.
Do you think if they did a Muppets Oliver, do you think Miss Piggy would be Nancy? No, I think Nancy would have to be a human. You would want Miss Piggy to be Nancy.
Yeah, I mean, Miss Piggy singing on Papa, and like as long as he needs me.
So much of Nancy's qualities are just, they can't come out of Miss Piggy. Like there's adapting the text, and then there's just like when they did Wizard of Oz and Miss Piggy was all of the witches, that was perfect. Because they all had the diva attitude thing, and not that Nancy doesn't have attitude, but she has such a selflessness and a generosity of spirit for Oliver and Dodger and the other younglings that I couldn't see Miss Piggy finding that within herself.
I don't know, she's acting.
I don't see it. Signed up for the Stereophonic waiting list after your video. I'm so pleased. Super excited to go see it. Thanks for the recommendation. I hope you enjoy. I love it so much. My favourite stage door meet was Gavin Lee at the Palladium, Beauty and the Beast, as he was the reason I wanted to get into musical theatre when I saw a video of him as Bert when I was a kid. That's so special. Oh my gosh. You think Carrie Hope Fletcher should be Alphabet at some point? I think she's spoken about that previously, if I remember correctly. My mum has met the legend Beverly Knight at stage door.
Love Bev.
Who doesn't love Bev? We'll listen to Ghost Quartet. I don't know much about it, but it's been getting great reviews. Yeah, it's just very abstract and interwoven, and you've got to really. I do think listening in advance will be helpful, because I saw it knowing nothing about it and was confused but intrigued and loved it and gripped by it, and then I listened afterwards and I became fully obsessed, and I never got to see it the second time, which I really wanted to. With so many big name actors like Ewan McGregor and Cate Blanchett returning to theatre, you do to have any Hollywood actors you would like to see do theatre? My choice would be Florence Pugh. That's been talked about. There was allegedly something that was going to happen there. I believe she was approached by the cabaret people at some point, and she'd have been a great Sally Bowles, I assume. But Hollywood actors we would like to see doing theatre. Paul Rudd. I don't know why that just came to me.
I'd like to see Tom Holland do a musical.
Yeah. I'm excited for when Coleman Domingo returns to the stage in his new Celebrity Capital.
I like Catherine Hahn on stage.
Sure. Do you think Swept Away could play the West End? I saw it 4 days before it closed. I cried for like 60 minutes straight. It was a beautiful piece of theatre. I mean, it could. If then press thing, Avira, I need to message you about that. I think Tarzan the musical will be awesome in the West End.
It's that and Little Mermaid. Both have never been to the UK.
Yeah. Samantha Barks' Elphaba feels inevitable. Yes. Yeah. My favourite stage door memory was meeting Nigel Lindsay after Enemy of the People. How it ended up happening is a long story, but he's so lovely. He is very nice. Yes. Who are the Disney vloggers you watch? You watch Adam Hatton. We watch All Ears.
Yes.
All
Ears is our big one.
We were watching a Mammoth Club one.
Yeah.
Recently.
And we love our friend Sam for God.
Yes, for Disney Paris.
Love Sam.
Outside of theatre and films, what are some of your other interests and hobbies? If only we had the time. Disney. And
you get very into your fashion.
Do I? Could you not tell?
Don't say that. My parents got you that.
No, I love it, which is why I'm wearing it.
It's Disney fashion. It's fashion.
Do you know what just occurred to me? Because it's Donald with these cuffs and that. I was like, oh, I look like a sailor. Like it looks very much like.
Yeah, I see that.
Just the colorings of it. I do a lot of fitness.
You do a lot of fitness. You
At the moment.
you like running.
Do I like running or do I do running? I have a love-hate relationship.
And you
with
love Real
running.
Housewives.
I do love Real Housewives.
You talk about it all the time whenever you can.
The way Mickey feels about The Outsiders is the way I feel about Hamilton. Ooh, bold. Did you guys see Maybe Happy Ending when you were in New York? Yes, saw it twice. I've talked about it a lot. I have reviewed it. Love Maybe Happy Ending. It's my favorite show on Broadway. My favorite song in the film is called What Is This Feeling? Yes, it's a great song. Do you think Two Strangers Carry a Cake will come back at some point?
Yes.
Yes, it will. Meeting Ben Power on my birthday after seeing the Lehman trilogy and having a long chat about writing, and he also introduced me to Howard Overshone, who's also lovely. I'm sure he is. That's nice to know. What is a one-man or woman show, musical or not, you really liked? Funnily enough, there's a show called One Man Musical that is coming to Underbelly Boulevard this month. I think it starts previews within the next couple of weeks. That I loved at Fringe. We see a lot of one-person shows at the Edinburgh Fringe. Best ones that we've seen there. Best one-person shows. I mean, I saw Fleabag on stage. Best one-person shows. I liked Adam Lenson's show.
In Clay.
Oh, In Clay is a great example, yeah. Tickets to live tapings in NYC are usually free, I think. That's what I thought as well.
Yeah, I thought about this earlier, that Miss Piggy could be part of, like, with Dundle.
Yeah. If Piggy is Nancy, then wouldn't that mean Kermit is Bill Sykes? And that's an absolute no. Yeah, I think the more that you delve into a Muppet Oliver, the more you realize why it's not going to work. Muppets Hello Dolly, that's where we really need to be focusing our energy, because it honestly all works. Following the Muppets law rule that one human actor, the rest are Muppets. Everyone says this on the internet, but it's not true. And I'm having to stop this right now and dismantle this, because this has never, it's not. Everyone's always like, one human actor, the rest Muppets, and that's the Muppet. I'm like, but it's not though. Because in Christmas Carol, like, there are multiple human actors.
Yeah, in any Muppet film there will be.
Scrooge is a human.
With other Muppet films, I think the rule is like one main Muppet, one human that's used as the protagonist, and then you have kind of minor characters, but then any main character then is a Muppet.
Sometimes, but in Muppets Treasure Island, you have like the principal protagonist and the principal antagonist are both played by humans.
Yeah.
Sorry to go dramaturgical on this. If you cast a Muppets Wicked, who plays what? Well, they've done Wizard of Oz, so it's not dissimilar.
Yeah.
And inherently, you have a problem. You have an Elf Biglander problem immediately. Because it would have to be Kermit, because Kermit did not sing an entire song called "It's Not Easy Being Green," not to be
Elphaba.
That's what should happen at the Oscars. Is Cynthia should duet with Kermit the Frog and sing "It's Not Easy Being Green."
That would be fun.
That's what I want. Top theatre moments of last year. Ooh.
You did films for your favorite. You did.
I talked about my favorite shows, but like top theatre moments.
Gander.
Oh yeah. Getting to watch Come From Away in Gander,
and just seeing the places.
Yeah. Florence Pugh's Sally or Cost. I mean, it would be Sally. Let's be honest with ourselves. It would be Sally. Need Andrew Garfield back on stage? Yes, we do. Yeah,
the Home Alone house.
How was producers? Hoping to do Rush tomorrow, but they don't seem to do Rush at the weekends. Oh, they definitely have. They definitely did last weekend, so that's interesting. But I enjoyed it. It was funny. I liked it. If you could play any character on the West End stage, who would it be? Who would I play on the West End stage? Are you answering for me? I don't like the way you're moving your mouth right now. I'm not a fan of the way I'm currently being looked at.
I mean, you'd be a Zazie. Unless they say I'm wrong, try.
What's your answer?
Back in the day, I would have said a book.
You could still be Book.
No. But that was for all that I always was like, yeah, that one.
Hear me out. Lucy Jones as Seymour or Boleyn in 6. I don't know. Does Lucy Jones dance? I've never seen Lucy Jones dance. Have I said something foolish? Did she do a big dance?
No. It was just how pronounced she went with dance.
Dance?
And
That's how I talk.
I was like, how much has she danced?
I'm sorry.
No, she's not really done a heavy dance role.
I've heard a lot of people getting quite annoyed with the new Broadway, almost indie high belting voice sound. Do you miss the traditional musical singing sound? Even Phantom doesn't sound as classic. I mean, hard to pin down what you mean by the traditional musical singing sound, because it's something that has naturally evolved over time, over decades. Legit vocals mean something different to the sound that we hear now. We're living in a very post-Wicked, post-contemporary musical theatre world where there is a particular sound.
I mean, we talk more about like the lack of people being able to have unique voices, because that's what it takes for like people to start doing impressions of performers, because they're just known so much for their voice.
Yeah, individuality.
Yeah.
Have you heard much about Redwood? All I know about Redwood is trees, Adina Menzel, and trees. Hear me out. Swept away at Regent's Park Open Air Theatre. Yeah, but they wouldn't be able to do the cool stuff that they do with the set, which is my favorite thing about the show.
Not with the risk of frame.
When will the Little Big Things come back to Soho Place? I don't know, but hopefully very soon.
Yeah.
Do you think someone who loves Uncle Vanya as a play would love the Andrew Scott version? I've still not seen the Andrew Scott version.
No, I've heard very different things about it.
Yeah. She would be a great cost in a production different to the current one.
There's a very specific type of performer that is a cost in this version.
Yeah.
Which is very opposite to previous productions. Cost has changed a lot.
Top Hat Leo says, my dream role will forever and always be the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, and in my twisted shape. I am what character in Beauty and the Beast, Aaron James? What if I
am? You're Cogsworth.
There you go. There's a theme here, if you couldn't tell. I am Zazu. I am Cogsworth. I am not LeFou. You're LeFou.
No. You're LeFou.
Why am I LeFou? Why am I LeFou? Gosh, it disturbs me to see you, Gaston.
There you go.
No, but I'm a Cogsworth. Can I help it if I'm tense? Why do you think we don't have any new contemporary actors on stage with voices like Patty Bernadette, Angela
That's what we were just saying.
Elaine Stritch, Carol Channing? Why don't people like unique voices as much anymore?
I think it's difficult. I think it's difficult for somebody to have the confidence to let their voice have their mannerisms and do stuff.
I think it's in the training programs as well.
Well, I feel like there's also more of a focus now on people being able to cover an understudy and less of a like marquee. Like it feels the closest I think we're getting at the minute is where I see there's like 3 types of Elphabas. And
none of those are examples of people with I'm sorry, but it's in the last
but I feel like that's the closest we're getting.
No, I don't think it is. Not on Broadway, but people like Maimouna Menon has a fascinating and unique voice. I think there's another example, but it's evaded me. But I don't think. I think Elphaba is the problem here, and is not the solution. That like you get Elphabas who sound slightly different.
But this is what I mean. Like there's a focus on. Well, I didn't mean that you're getting unique voices. I don't. There's like a types, and so people are either becoming kind of. they're trying to find people that then can cover these people and take over from these people and replicate those sounds. A lot more.
I think people are doing it to themselves.
Before.
I don't think someone's standing at the check-in line for Broadway and saying, "I'm only letting you through if you start sounding more like Lindsay Mendez." I think people are doing it themselves. People are hearing a sound and replicating that, and it happens in a certain way. It's also the way that the scores are being written, and the range of all of this stuff necessitates a certain vocal type, and that with it brings the tone, I guess. Out of the two of you, which is the Karen and which is the Ivy? It's fairly drastic implications for both. You love Megan Hilty, and I have brown hair, so we'll go that way round. But I'm not happy about it. The only thing worse is being the Uma Thurman in that situation. No shade to Uma, but she's not. Yeah, she doesn't come off well. And Rebecca Duvall, is that the name of? That's her character's name in Smash, played by Uma Thurman.
Why am I just thinking of you as a producer?
As Angelica Houston? Yeah. I'm getting disrespected on this live stream. My goodness. Hi guys, Mike from Kent here. Heard on radio by Elaine Page that Anything Goes could have another revival this year. I last saw it at the Barbican from July 2022 with Kerry Ellis. That's not something that I had heard.
What has she heard?
Interesting. Wouldn't you be Lumiere, Mickey Jo? You would have thought so, but no, I am a Cogsworth. I think Florence Pugh would more likely do a play as her stage debut, probably something at, say, the National or the Almeida, that or the Duke of York's.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I love Cabaret. What would you say are the key differences of cost in this production? In this production,
there's more of a focus on the fact that Cost plays Fritzy as well. Like Cost is Fritzy,
who is a dancer in the Kit Kat.
Yeah, and she it's not just she is both characters, and everybody knows that that's the same person.
Yeah. If you could bring back any show for one night with its original West End or Broadway cast, what show would you choose? Mine is the original West End company /book/staging of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Interesting. That is not what I would choose.
Currently, but it's only because of currently feeling one way. I'd have Hamley back for a performance.
You have magical cast reunion superpowers and you're using them on Amelie?
Because it was perfection.
Do I get to rise people from the dead?
I don't know.
I might say Les Mis, original London cast. I might say, gosh, I'd love to see Philip Quast and Maria Friedman do Sunday in the Park with George. Yeah. Everyone. I get this question a lot. Of people say, if you could time travel, and I say it's too hard. It's too hard. I would steal it and run away. Any plans to see Kyoto at Soho Place? Yes. Stay tuned for a review. I love how versatile your voice is making. Thank you. Oh, that was my LeFou and Cogsworth impressions. I don't like doing it because I instantly set myself up for disappointing people, but I can do impressions quite well. Who do I do a good impression of that we can say publicly? I can't remember. Are you falling asleep or are you just thinking very hard? Okay. We will draw this to a close shortly. A few years ago, I met Joe McKeldry after he played Joseph in Liverpool, and now he's going to be playing the Pharaoh on tour. We're both just struggling here. Have you watched the deleted scenes from Wicked? I do have a favourite because that scene, I can't believe they cut it.
Sean.
I do a good impression of Sean. I have to have spoken to Danny recently to be able to do the Dutch. But yeah. Yes, my favourite deleted scene from Wicked is the one where Glinda is trying to do magic and Alpha reassures her, and then she says, if you needed help with the Lion Cub, you could have asked me. It's so heartbreaking, and it's such a remarkable foreshadowing in parallel with what ends up happening in Defying Gravity when she can't go with it. I was like, it makes it even more heartbreaking. It makes it even more meaningful. I can't believe they cut it because it's such a smart addition. But yeah. I played the asylum keeper in Beauty and the Beast about 10 years ago, and I remember I made about 5 kids cry with the makeup I was wearing. Oh, you get the fun song, the Maison de Lune. At the Maison de Lune. Monsieur Dark, I think is that his name? I remember in one video you said Philippa Sue had a unique voice. Yes, she does. Well remembered, yeah. The Hemsworth brothers as the title characters in Jekyll and Hyde, they don't look that alike, is the thing. And which way round would you do it? Who would you like to see cast in the Kennedy Center production of Legally Blonde? The basic and traditional answer would be, I mean, it's not basic because she's brilliant, but the traditional answer would be someone like a Mackenzie Kurtz. I would love to see them take after the recent Regent's Park production and cast it in a completely different way to how it's been done before. How do you feel about the Kinky Boots tour? Who would you dream cast as Charlie and Lola? That's a bit moot because it's already been cast, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm excited about the tour. I think Kinky Boots is always a great show and always plays well to British audiences. We love that kind of a story. Just haven't heard Johannes sing yet. I think perfect for the character in almost every other way, just waiting to hear the singing. Because it is a deceptively big sing. He called you Angelica Houston in Smash. It's only fair you get to throw a martini in his face. So true. So true, Joshua. So true. I was trying to think of that one bit that she sang. She sings at one point in Under Pressure. Turned away from it all like a blind man. Sat on the fence, but it don't win. And then Jack Davenport comes in sounding really nasal and keep coming back for love, but it's all crashed and torn. And then Jeremy Jordan does a crazy why. Anyway, it's a great song. It's a great moment. Have you wheeled away not because you're yawning, just because you don't want to be...
Because I keep yawning.
Okay. I'm going to finish this lot of questions very quickly, and then we're going to go to bed. I walked past the poster of Amelie at the Criterion and almost cried, so Erin is correct and we should be saying that.
I agree.
Do you think Leah Michelle and Darren Criss will ever stop being associated with Glee all the time? People get associated with the thing that people know them for. It's
a big moment.
It's a big moment, and it's also given them a lot of opportunities. So I don't think it's devastating for them.
It's like no matter how many things you've seen Jennifer Aniston in, everybody's going to remember her as Rachel from Friends.
Yeah. Yes, Pipo, you're right. The thematic implications of Cost doing both is very fascinating. Yes, and it really works. Just wondering, what were your? Would you guys get the real Huabun plant if you were still in NYC? I'm so tempted, but I really want the plush first. Yeah, I would. Anything. Yes, I would get either. If I had a time machine, I would have loved to see Mame with Lansbury and B. Arthur. You are so right. That's a great choice. Favorite Haribo gummy flavor? The lips. I only say Charlie and the Chocolate Factory because it's the first Western production I auditioned for. I got to top 8 for the last cast, Augustus Gloop. Oh my gosh. Do you like Alice by Heart? Haven't listened to it.
I like some of the songs from Alice by Heart. It'd be interesting to see how they try it over here.
Agree with the favorite Wicked scene. Poor Erin falling asleep. I see The Doctor on Wednesday, your first show of 2025. Enjoy. I was just thinking about that play again the other day. I hope you thoroughly enjoy yourself. Yeah, I saw John Chu's explanation of why they cut the scene. Made sense, regrettably. But, musical about theatre reviewers, give it a title. You may have to leave that one with me. 5 stars. Grace Hodgett Young has a unique voice. She does, but she also has a very similar sound to the sound that everyone has now. Angelica Houston, I always think of the witches. You're not alone. I'm sorry, but I can't unsee Mickey as Zazu now. Ellie's just yelling sour gummy bears in all caps. Took your advice and just got the last real Huabun plant on the Maybe Happy Ending website. Good for you, sad for us. Your first time in Amsterdam too. Enjoy. And I think having finished all the questions, we will bid you all good night. Thank you for joining us for a random Friday night Stagey live for a little bit of chat. We will attempt to do another one in the next week. I hope everyone enjoys. I see you commenting, Mickey, as Dr. Dillerman is down there. I see you. I don't know how I feel about that. Bad. Hope everyone enjoys.
What about the wizard?
I hope everyone enjoy. I've had so many injustices this evening. So maligned. I hope everyone enjoys any theatre that you might be seeing over the next week. Stay tuned for lots and lots of videos. If you're not already, make sure to go follow Mr. Aaron James on YouTube as well. He is linked in the title of this live stream. If you click on his name there and go and subscribe to his YouTube channel.
And on Aaron James UK and other platforms.
Also that, but his weekly vlogs will be soon making a reappearance for 2025. If you want to see everything that we get up to, Mickey is Milky White. That we can get behind. That I can do. Mamoo. In the meantime, thank you for watching. I hope that everyone is staying safe and that you have
a stagey day.
Goodbye.
Bye.